And there we go. Most High in Christ. We up. Shalom. You tune in Scripture Breakdown class. Preacher Captain Natazak Shah. You understand the Isupk. All right. Out here in Virginia, Biblical Scripture Breakdown class. All right. You understand? Very important. There we go. There we go. All right. We're talking about a few things here. We want to jump into it. Everybody, just make sure you sign in for attendance, of course. You understand? Get your attendance going. All right. We're going to give everybody a few moments just to get in there. What is the importance? The purpose of a man, the importance, you understand? Like where we left off, different scriptures talking about an order that the Most High set up in the First Corinthians, talking about the head of the woman is the man, the chain of command, the order, the hierarchical structure of how life is supposed to function as we fight to rebuild our nation and put our families back in order the proper way that the Lord had intended from the very beginning. You understand? Like, what is the purpose? It's been very misconstrued. It's been very watered down. The purpose of a man. You understand? A man has a great purpose. It's not, you understand? A man has a very important purpose from the Lord that is so greatly underestimated. Hey, shalom, brother. Yahweh Shem Shabbat. It's greatly underestimated. You understand? Huge, huge responsibility comes with being a man that the Lord does not, you understand? The Lord requires things of a man that are not required of a woman. There's to be a clear difference between a man and a woman, according to the Lord. It's a very terrible, very destructive, you understand? A terrible, a very destructive thing that has been taught to our people because of America, because of this feminist movement, because of the way that our oppressor has set up his society to make, you understand, and this is only targeted to our people, to prey upon the destruction of our people. You understand? That's the brother's name. Okay. Come. All right. Like it, bear with me just a moment. You understand? All right, Most High in Christ. You brothers should ready to read. You should check your, you understand, check your emails. You brothers should have links. You be up in your all black, ready to read. You understand? All right, we're gonna keep going. Obviously, Raj, get with y'all. Shalom, brother. All right. Like the purpose of a man. Very, very important. We're gonna start in Numbers chapter 27 and verse 15. Very important. Numbers chapter 27 and 15. And Moses spake unto the Lord. There's a lot of things that can be very easily overlooked when you're reading the Bible. And this is what you're being trained to understand, things that the Christian church and the world and the society around us has stripped from us, so that we don't understand, that we kind of just look over them or even take for granted. You understand? It said, and the Lord spake unto Moses. The vast majority of these books are written. The Lord is talking to a man. The Lord is not given, you understand, book after book, prophecies after prophecies. These things are not given to women, because the Lord does not deal with a woman the way that he deals with the man. That's why the order and the structure is so very important. A lot of the problems that our people face as a society come from being outside of that order that the Most High set up. That at the very top of that chain of command, there is no equality. You understand? There's no equality. There is no, you understand, we all the same. There's no equality amongst people. There's no equality amongst children. There's no equality amongst men and women. Amongst men, there's not equality. And this is a very destructive concept that the Christian church has taught our people, that we have to unlearn, not just unlearn by hearing it, but unlearn, you understand, by being taught the proper way that the Lord set up. No sweat, brother. All right, bear with me just a moment. She back there. Okay. proper way that the Lord said. Here we go. All right. Yeah, those things have already been sent. So y'all check y'all emails. They've already been sent to y'all. Everybody just sign in for attendance. Okay. The brothers check that. Like, this is what the Lord is saying. He spoke to Moses. The Lord was not giving his instructions to a woman because the Lord wanted to set things in a proper order, which is something that we don't have now. I'm going to let the scriptures get into it real heavy tonight. All right. So Numbers chapter 27 and verse 15. Verse 16 says, let the most high power, capital Lord, this meaning this is coming from God. This is coming from the most high. The power, you understand, the strength, the authority of the spirits of all flesh. All flesh has a spirit. All flesh is not the same. The spirit of a woman is not the same as the spirit of a man. You understand? Men and women are not supposed to be the same. Our roles are not, you understand? We're not supposed to be interchangeable. The laws and the commandments in the Bible, you understand, they talk about destroying the patriarchy, or fighting the patriarchy. Well, the patriarchy, the world that you live in, is created by a man. Men build the houses you live in, the cars that you drive, the roads, the bridges, the police force that you call, the government. They fought wars to establish and build things. Men fought so that these records in the Bible were maintained. The Lord rose up armies. Men carry the seed to reproduce people on the planet Earth. That's why your father determines what seed you are, what tribe you are, what nation you are. God is not a woman. Men and women are not interchangeable. That's why we're going into whoredom. We're going into all the things that destructure and destroy a people, or more specifically, our people. And we're starting with the man, because the only way to fix our nation is to fix the men. Christianity, the government, everyone is talking women and children, women and children. You can do nothing for women and children if you do not repair the husbands and the fathers. Everything that you think you are doing for women and children is ultimately going to just destroy them. It might be to your advantage that they are destroyed, which is what is going on here in America and everywhere our tribes are. It is beneficial for women and children to be propped up and the man to be pushed out of society. That's why you hear people who repeat the talking points that the Isupk has been saying since the 60s. The Isupk has been talking about what the Lord said. Now you hear Andrew Tate and whoever else and Kevin Samuels and lots of people are repeating the things that Commanding General Yohana has been saying on street corners before it was popular, before there were apps and iPhones and Apple Watches and YouTubes and Twitters and Instagrams. Before all of this, the prophets that the Lord set up, men that the Lord set up, you understand? Before all of this, you see now, men were fighting to build up the truth. The Lord gave this instructions to the prophets decades and centuries before these problems got as big as where they are today. You understand? So he said, let the Most High power, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation. There's to be a man ruling. At no point in time was there ever supposed to be a woman ruling. There was never supposed, shalom, y'all. There was never supposed to be a woman not ruling the family, not ruling the kids, not ruling the city, not ruling anything. A woman was never supposed to be in rulership or authority. America promotes that. Nowhere else on the planet do you see that. You understand? All of them movies like this push to promote this female warrior, this Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel and the Woman King. That is to erase you, black man. That is to completely chase the man out of society, to get rid of his masculinity, the very instincts and strength that God put inside of a man. It was perfectly fine when America was targeting black and Hispanic men to emasculate and destroy us with their child support rules, to dictate to a man how he should or should not maintain his family, to punish a man really for having children altogether, and to promote a woman to exploit the authority that America has given her that the Lord never intended, you understand, to overpower or usurp authority over her husband. You understand? Like those things the Lord never intended to be, and they have destroyed our society. That's why we're going over this. He said, let the Lord, God, the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation. Why is it important to have a man ruling? You understand? Hey, shalom, brother. We're going to need to get some light on that background. You real dark there, brother. All right. Need some light. So go ahead and get that light taken care of. I'll bring you back up. All right. So what the Lord is saying, that the Most High set a man over the congregation. It is a great responsibility being a man. That is why there are 7 to 10 times as many women as there are men. Being a man is a huge responsibility. Raising a man is a huge responsibility. Being a husband is a huge responsibility. If a man does not have the proper training, the proper power, the proper authority and education that he needs to rule his house, his land, his cities well, the cities will fall apart, which is the state that they are in today. The children will be in the streets out of order, throwing trash on the street, fighting, shooting each other, getting high, daughters going missing, getting kidnapped, going pregnant, becoming child mothers. These things happen when the man is not in proper authority the way that the Lord said. That's why we are retracing our steps to undo this madness that we have going on in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, where women rule over them. It's literally put that way in the scriptures for a reason. You understand? It says, let the Most High power set a man over the congregation, which can go out before them. Like a man is supposed to go in front. Why is he saying that? A man is supposed to go out before them because a man is supposed to make sure that things are safe. Safety is a huge thing. We have a huge problem with safety. You understand? Hey, shalom, brother. Yeah, both sign Christ, brother. Look like your connection is better this week. Both sign Christ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shalom.
All right. Go ahead, get situated. I'll bring you back up. All right. So he said, set a man over the congregation, which may go out before them. A man is supposed to go in before you because of danger. We do things in order. Women don't go first in here. In the world, you as a woman were taught that a woman is supposed to go first. You understand? Women do not go first. That's wrong. That's backwards. Because if it's danger and you send the woman in first, then what's going to happen? Like the man is supposed to face the danger. That's what masculinity is for. That's why Brittany Griner was sent home from prison in Russia, because she is a girl. She is a woman, and she's supposed to be able to go home because baby girls are supposed to be safe. Someone is supposed to rule over them with authority. Someone is supposed to make up for their mistakes. Someone is supposed to correct them and tell them yes and tell them no, and praise them for doing well and correct them for doing wrong, to moderate their behavior, to make sure it does not get out of hand the way that it is today in our communities. All right. You got to be able to just sit that a little bit better, brother. It looks like you're kind of far away. You understand? All right. That looks a little better. Like that's what a man is for. It says, which can go out before them and which may lead them out. A man is supposed to lead us out. Why is he saying lead us out? Because we are constantly in danger. That is why everyone is ruling over us. That's why everybody has authority over us. That is why they control businesses in our communities. Because the authority that a man is supposed to have over his community has been taken from him through the Christian church, the feminist movement, the government. Everything is taking a man's power and authority away. That's why brothers run to the military or run to gangs or run everywhere looking for some place to have power, some place to have authority, but without getting the proper education on what the Lord wants us to rule over and how the Lord wants us to rule, we'll be left to do things naturally, which is the wrong way. You understand? We're going to get into it all tonight, all right? So, brother, take me to Numbers chapter. All right, you're going to have to turn down your computer. All right, just listen through the screen. You got to turn down your computer. All right, take me to Numbers chapter 27 and give me verse 17. All right, young man Darnell, give me Numbers 27 and 17. Okay, I'm still getting a lot of feedback. Everybody, just make sure that your sound is muted. Okay, just make sure your sound is muted, Brother Shaw. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm still hearing it. I'm still. Let me make sure this is not. All right. Okay, I'm still. All right, make sure your sound is muted. I mean the sound that's on your computer. Wherever you're watching the class from, it's giving a reverb. That's what I'm talking about. It looks like you might got it fixed now. All right. Give me Numbers chapter 27, young man Darnell, and verse 17. All right.
Numbers chapter 27, verse 17. Which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out.
Right. A man to go out. Correct. A man to go out before them. All right. Young man Kenny, give me Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 4. You hold Proverbs 8 and 4. All right. Uriah, send the link to Trooper Mataza. All right. But go ahead, finish brother that was reading.
All
right.
And which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd.
It's very important. So he said, let a man may go out before them, a man to go in front of them, because the man is supposed to decide how far to go. Our people have gone beyond the limits that God intended. The Lord put something in a man that he did not put in a woman. And you can tell this very easily. You understand? Everybody is a warrior. Throw a mouse in that room with all the woman kings. Throw a spider or a bumblebee in that room and see how much warrior that the Lord put inside of a woman. You understand? That is incorrect. That's a terrible thing. And the Lord did not intend for a woman to be a warrior. That's wrong. You're stealing from a woman. She's not supposed to have to fight and battle and get a damn sword. Her battle is to listen to you. And you are supposed to know what to do. That's why every brother needs to get in the Isupk to be thoroughly trained on what to do at all times. You understand? He said, let a man go out in front of the congregation, which may lead them out and bring them in, to lead them where they're supposed to go and then bring them in. Why is he saying bring them back in? Because he's using the equation of sheep with the shepherd. If you don't make sure that those sheep are back in, those sheep will wander. The wolf will eat the sheep. The sheep will get kidnapped. The sheep will end up in somebody else's pasture. And our people have been kidnapped. They've been led astray into drugs, into Islam, into the LGBT community, into prostitution, into OnlyFans, into cigarettes, into the military, into everything. Our people have been led astray with crystals and burning sage. Our people are the people of God. And as the people of the one true living God, our people have gone so far astray that we are literally in every religion. We in the East Indians religion. You're praying the weed, you're growing dreadlocks, you're shaving your face like an Egyptian, shaving your head like an Egyptian, which is Egyptian culture. Dreadlocks don't come from Africa. For all those who may have been taught that, that is false. All right? Like we've been led away into praying to crystals. Sisters wearing crystals around their neck, talking about the crystals going to give you good energy and, burning sage and praying to your tarot cards and getting your futures read with your palms and looking at your zodiac. And I'm a Sagittarius and a Capricorn, worshiping your degree, thinking your degree and your money is how you're supposed to be led. That's wrong. Your amount of money, your degree, your career, your lack of, or your abundance of does not take the place of your man. The man is supposed to be in charge. And it is a great responsibility. And it is very important for the quality and the standard for masculinity to be raised so much higher. That's what we do in the Isupk. Because in the world, the standard for masculinity is so very low that women believe that they can be a man. That women say, I'm the mother and the father now, especially on that damn Father's Day, which is garbage. Well, and it's so bad that brothers are repeating, well, you know, this is my mom. She really my mother and my father because my father was never really around. So now mommy is the dad. You only see this amongst our people. No other race of people would ever say this garbage. And that is because we are the children of the God of the Bible. And we have done these things that the Lord told us never to do. And it makes us absolutely foolish. All right. We're going to get into it. All right. So Numbers, he said, which can lead them. And he said that they be not as sheep which have no shepherd. And our people in the world are sheep without a shepherd. There is no one to tell them that it is unacceptable for boys to dress up as girls. It's unacceptable for Dwayne Wade to say that my son is a little girl now and put his son in dresses. That speaks volumes to the piss poor leadership and the horrible standard of masculinity for brothers in the world, for our people in the world. That's why everything is out of order. So give me that Proverbs chapter, the Proverbs scripture that I got you holding, young man Kenny. Give me that Proverbs 8:4. All right. You muted right now.
Hear me now?
All right, you two up. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, come. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 4. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man.
This is the Lord speaking. He said, unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. Why is he saying this? He's saying this over and over again for very good reason. It's being said this way all over the Bible. That's why you see so much son of man, speak unto this, thus saith the Lord. The Lord in the Bible is not talking to women. It is not to empower women. It is not to put women on a pedestal. It is not to put a woman in charge. It is not to make her the person of faith. That is an unnatural position. That is why sisters are having so much strokes. That is why sisters are so depressed. That's why they're on all kind of drugs, all kind of medications. That's why they need deep psychiatric evaluation. If you watch any of these shows, you see these shows on TV, you see them on Twitter, on YouTube, these different conversations that you're hearing more and more because of the hard work that Commanding General Yohana and the priest and officer in the Isupk are doing all across the world, all on the internet and everywhere else. You are seeing more and more of these conversations to see what is in the mind of our people, what's in the mind of our brothers, what's in the mind of our sisters, really, because no one gives a damn about a man, period. America does not care about a man. No one cares about what's best for a man. What is a man going through? What does a man need? No one is concerned at all. The government is not concerned. You understand? The religions are not concerned. Everyone is concerned with hustling our people and taking that man's resources, which is his woman and his children. You understand? That is why in the Isupk, we fight for the brothers. Brotherhood is a weapon. You understand? It's a very powerful weapon that we don't have in the world that is so desperately needed. You understand? And the Lord is saying his cry is unto the sons of man so that men will be able to stand up and fight for their brother, fight for their nation. Take me to 2 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 10. I think it should be 2 Samuel chapter 12. So I think it's 10 and 12. All right.
10 and 12.
God, 2 Samuel chapter 10. I'm going to tell you in just a second. Chapter 10 and verse 12. All right.
Con. 2 Samuel chapter 10, verse 12.
There you go. Verse 12.
Be of good courage, and let us play the men for our people.
It said, be of good courage. Hold on. You got to slow it down a little bit, brother. Everywhere you see a comma, an exclamation point, a punctuation, a semicolon, all of those things are very important to go into in the scriptures. When it says line upon line in Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 10, and precept upon precept, that's what it means, line upon line. So the first thing, damn right, the first thing says, be of good courage. That's the first part. Be of good courage. And then ISUPK, we have no cowards, man. We raise our sons and our daughters to have good courage, because this evil society will fight to take away your courage to do the godly thing. Take away your courage to stand with the Most High and obey his laws, statutes, and commandments. That is why the schools push Christianity. They push Thanksgiving. They push Halloween. The world is saying Happy Valentine's Day. Your calendar, your phone, Spotify, everything. The emails from Human Resources say Happy Valentine's Day, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. It is assumed that you are a part of the world. It is pressing against you. That's why life is about warfare that we read in the Bible. And the more and more that there are men to stand up and fight for what the Lord wants, that is how you have a society. America was built because men fought against the force that oppressed them. The colonists, the settlers, they were British. They're the same white man from England. They left England. They left Europe to come to America. And they got together as men to fight against a force that was oppressing them. And they came up against their own people to be free from the British crown, to be free from Spain, from the Queen of England, the Queen of Spain. They fought to be free from there while they were murdering, enslaving, and subjugating our people. You understand? It is important that a man is supposed to fight. And in the world, unfortunately, if you are a sister, you are a Christian, you are being raised to get to fight that masculinity that is inside of a man. You understand? Let me give some examples. A woman trying to tell her man, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to leave you. That is you fighting against his masculinity. Because if you lay down and have sex with a man, you have no right to leave that man. We are not talking about taking abuse. We're going to get into that. We're not talking about someone is abusing your children. We're not talking about a child molester, a murderer, someone selling drugs out of your house. That's not what we're talking about. Even a rose has thorns. Every living thing has a right to protect itself. That's not what we're talking about. That's also why we do counseling in ISUPK, and we cannot stress enough that every Black, Hispanic, and Native American needs to be in our classes and in our school. That's the only way these problems get solved. All right. That is fighting his masculinity. You understand? Many times you'll hear this, you'll see parents or brothers saying, well, I don't want the kids to do that. And then you'll see a woman would turn around and say, well, you know, they just young. They're young. I said, no, he shouldn't be doing that at any age. Tell him, put that purse down. Tell him, take your slippers off. Well, you know, he just young. You know, he just like, you know, he just like old mama, just like grandma. And if you don't deal with that, he's going to get older. He's going to get comfortable with that purse. It's just grandma's slippers now. Then he's going to turn on his cartoons. And the cartoons are going to promote to him, wear a dress. Bugs Bunny's going to do it. Donald Duck's going to do it. Well, I don't know what the damn cartoons are today. But you understand? It's going to be promoted. They said, well, don't, you got to toughen that boy up. He can't be like that. Again, we're not talking about abuse. We're not talking about just hitting you and stepping on you and beating the hell out of you because you are weak. That is what Christians do. And Christians do that because they do not have the Spirit of the Lord to correct anyone the way that the Lord said. Beating the hell out of your children is not the way to correct them according to the Most High. Now, your children bad and some of them need a belt. They most certainly do. But that is for a man to decide. A man is supposed to make that decision. As a man, there are a lot of grave life and death responsibilities that you have that outside of the ISUPK, you are not trained for. It is a life and death responsibility to train your sons on how to interact with the police. If they think they can talk to the police like you talk, hey, bro, listen, bro, I'm a man like you're a man. At the end of the day, why are you hassling me? You're going to get busted in the mouth with a nightstick. They're going to stick a 9mm in your face and pepper spray you and slam your head on the car because we are in an evil place. Mommy and Christianity say that everything is equal and fair, and church says it's not about race. That is an effeminization of a man. No Arab man would let his Arab children grow up thinking that being an Arab doesn't matter. No Chinese man would let his Chinese children grow up thinking being Chinese doesn't matter. No white man would raise his white children to think that being white doesn't matter. That's why Spider-Man is white. That's why the X-Men are white. That's why Superman is white. Batman is white. The cartoons are white. Everybody's white. The holidays are white. How many Native American holidays does the United States of America celebrate? How many? Exactly. How many East Indian holidays does America celebrate? How many Chinese holidays does America celebrate? They throw the damn Chinese New Year in there because China owns half of America. You understand? But they are promoting the dominance of their people. They know race matters. That is an effeminization to teach your Black, Hispanic, and Native American sons that their race doesn't matter, while simultaneously you're shaving off that beard so that that afro doesn't show. You're getting rid of those curls and those braids so that they don't see that you're really Black. You're changing your voice so they don't find out that you're one of the slaves and not one of the oppressors. You're telling them to mejor la raza, telling your Hispanic sons and daughters to go and marry white men so that you can turn around and have brighter babies with straighter hair so that you have less niggered features so they don't find out that you are the slaves. You're the gardener. You're the butler, the maid, the servant. They don't want you to be that way. It is a grave responsibility to teach your sons and daughters that we are in a battle. There's a battle to teach your daughter to not be Megan Thee Stallion. There's a battle to keep her off of OnlyFans. There's a battle to keep her naked behind from up and down the street and letting the whole basketball team run through her from middle school on up. There's a battle to keep your preachers, your mama and your wife's preacher from molesting all of your children. That is what a man is for. There are too few men to stand up and fight these battles, which is why these problems persist and flourish. That is why men are being raised up in the Isupk under Commanding General Yohana to read that scripture you just read again, brother. Give me 2 Samuel 10 and 12 one more time.
Yes, sir. Be of good courage.
Be of good courage. You understand? Read it just till you get to the point. Be of good courage. It takes courage, man. If your sons were taught that they need courage, the strong brothers wouldn't be destroying the weak brothers. They'd be building up the weak brothers. You understand? It don't take nothing to be strong to hurt someone weaker than you. But true strength is you strengthen someone that is weaker than you. And you protect your brother because he's weaker than you. And then one day he will grow up and become Mike Tyson. But if you beat the hell out of him and destroy him when he's a child, you understand? What can he become if his own brother will prey on him? You understand? That is not a man. A man does not prey on the weak of his people. A man does not shoot up his own neighborhood and community. A man does not have sex with a sister and throw her away. A man does not let his women and children dress however mommy says is okay. That's not a man. That is emasculating. And this society promotes the emasculization of Black, Hispanic, and Native American men. And we are fighting to take it back through the spirit of the Most High in Christ. So keep going, brother.
And let us play the men for our people.
Let us play the what?
Men for our people.
Let us play the men for our people. There are too few people willing to be a man for our people. You understand? We have plenty of people to be a man for the U.S. Marine Corps. There'll be a man for the city. There'll be a man and an officer and a DEA agent and an FBI and CIA agent. There'll be a man for the LGBT community. There'll be a man for themselves. I'm my own man. I got me. I'm going to do me. You do you. That's not a man. A man plays the man for his people. That's what makes you a man. Fighting for your people makes you a man. Being an old selfish bastard that just is about all that you can get for yourself so you can stash it everywhere and watch your people suffer and starve and die, that's not a man. That's an effeminate spirit. And that is the spirit that the Christian church puts on our people. That's not a man. You understand? Our communities are filled with that feminization. That's not masculinity. You understand? Keep going, brother.
Khan out of one Khan. And for the cities of our God.
And for the cities of our power. For the cities of our power. For our cities. These are for our cities. It takes men to fix our cities. The police cannot fix your city. The mayor is not going to fix your city. The teachers that babysit your bad kids for 10 hours a day are not going to fix your city. It takes men. Men of the Lord are going to fix the city. You understand? Keep going.
And the Lord do that which seemeth him good.
And the Lord going to do what seems good to him. You understand? The Lord going to see this, and then the Lord going to stand up. And that is what the Lord has been waiting for, our people to turn back to him and put on the spirit of the Most High. Trooper Mataz al-Quran, give me Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3. All right? Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3. All right?
All right. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 3. The Lord, Salakia, the Most High is a man of war.
It said the Lord is a what?
A man of war.
That's the first thing to understand. You understand? Young man Darnell, give me Ezekiel 22 and 30. The Lord is a man. That's the first thing to understand. The Lord is a man. That's first. That's being challenged more and more these days. The more and more you see that LGBT, transsexual, child molested spirit grow and get power in America, you hear more and more of this. It started with the I'm a diva. And then diva went to hot girl summer. Then we going to all be Marilyn Monroe. Then you're going to be city girls. Then it's my body, my choice. Nobody tell me what to do with the body. It seemed right. It seemed like a good thing. Owning your body, not being afraid of your body. It seems right. But what you didn't know was that the men that were promoting those things to you, sisters, these were men that wanted to get rich off of destroying you. That once they removed that father from the power structure that God set up, now you would belong to the streets. You would belong to the city. You don't have a head over you anymore. You are free to make your own decisions as they simultaneously promoted to you what decisions you should make. You understand? So go read that from the top one more time, Matazar.
Khan. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 3. The Most High is a man of war.
God is a man of war. You understand? It's a very important thing to represent. A woman does not represent God. God made a woman to be nice, sweet, soft, delicate, feminine. A woman does not represent God. If you are a woman, your purpose in life is not to represent God. The Christian church scammed sisters into thinking that they did not need the black man. They scammed sisters into thinking that as long as you could pay your own bills, as long as you got a job, got a career, got money, got an education, that was all you needed. And the only way that sisters began to believe that nonsense was because of the Christian preachers that the feminist movement used to exploit your woman while you were at work. That's how that nonsense got started. The same ones that used to go door to door, knocking on the door, telling your woman that she should come to church. She should come to church and learn about Jehovah and learn about the Watchtower and become a Seventh-day Adventist. You understand? And then you watch over time, man get weaker and weaker. Then the woman is deciding she don't want you being in charge anymore. She sit at church thinking she talking to God. She don't need you. What is your authority? It's her and King Jesus. That's wrong. That's a demon. That's an evil spirit. that has been put on our people. That's wrong. You understand? You are supposed to be her Lord. She in danger. She's supposed to come to you. She not, you understand? Her depending on you is dependent on the Lord. That's why it's so very important for you to know what the Lord requires of a man. All right? So keep going. Finish that
Come on,
scripture.
come on. The Most High is his name.
The Lord, capital Lord, is Yahweh. Yahweh is the Most High's real name. That is his proper name. You understand? You come to the Hebrew language class, you'll learn that. You'll learn Hebrew. You understand? Yahweh is his name. The Lord is a man of war. All right? Now give me that scripture you were holding, brother. True, but I told to hold that other scripture, young brother. Ezekiel 22 and 30. I think you muted, brother. All right, go ahead now.
Ezekiel 22 and verse 30. And I sought for a man among them
The Lord
that
said
should make up the head.
Right. The Lord said he sought for a man among them. I mean, the Lord is looking for men. That's why we out here fishing. That's why we fishing. That's why we have these classes. Paul said, if by any means I can provoke them, which are my flesh, to emulation, provoke them to come and serve the Most High. You understand? Provoke them to put away the strange gods, to put away weed, to put away dreadlocks, to put away church and Islam and being a Moorish, whatever the hell that's supposed to be, and worship in Africa. If I can provoke them by whatever means necessary, if it's jewelry, if it's gold teeth, it's how I talk, it's my garment, how I wear, how I carry myself. If by any means I can provoke them, which are my flesh, to emulation. That's what Paul said, man. The Lord said he sought for a man. This is not something that is uncommon. The Lord has always sought for men to stand with the Most High. He's always sought for men. He's always sent his prophets out, like Ezekiel, like Hosea, like Isaiah, like Jeremiah, like Moses. He's always sent his prophets out to look for men who will stand with the Most High. And there's always been such a great shortage of men. Even Christ said the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. You understand? That's why you brothers are here, ready to get it on. Get in work, get in your all black, to get in the work of the Lord. You understand? Damn right. All right. So go ahead, keep going.
That should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land.
Right. To make up the hedge. What is a hedge? What is a hedge? Who knows what a hedge is? Young man Kenny, go ahead.
If I may, to put a protection.
All right.
You know, to set up a protection, a barrier.
That's right. Exactly. To set up a barrier. Meaning before you get somewhere, there's a barrier. You understand? There's a barrier between you getting to the Jewish man. And you know what that barrier is? Jewish men. There's a barrier before you make it to China and take over anything Chinese. You know what that barrier is? Chinese men. You understand? There's a barrier before you taking over America. Russia wants to take the Ukraine, right or wrong. Ain't Russia bombing Ukraine right now? Ain't they fighting Ukraine? They're getting it on with Ukraine. How long they been fighting Ukraine now? Months. Missiles, rockets, tanks. They've been fighting the Ukraine. Did they take the Ukraine yet?
La.
They don't have it. Why don't they have Ukraine? They got missiles, they got tanks, they got rifles, they got soldiers. Why haven't they taken over the Ukraine? Because there's a barrier between them taking Ukraine and ruling the Ukraine. There's a barrier. You understand? This is a natural thing in life. This is why you cannot just be selfish and only caring about yourself and chasing your lust and tail and weed and getting high and pleasure and good times. That's what a child does. You cannot be a child. America's job is to perpetually keep our people children. You understand? The Lord wants our people to get out of that. The Lord wants our people to grow up and wake up and stop believing in dreams and fairy tales, to play the man for our people. You understand? So keep going.
And stand in the gap before me for the land,
Right.
that I should not destroy it. Salaki.
Right. And stand in the gap before me, meaning someone who represents the Most High is supposed to stand in the gap. Why is it saying stand in the gap? Because our cities are destroyed. The vast majority of our children are being raised without fathers. But we just read dozens of scriptures where the Lord said he sought to put a man in charge. So that is a huge gap that you have entire generations. In fact, the majority of our nation is being raised without the natural hedge, boundary leadership that the Lord set up. And the Lord has been looking for men to stand in the gap, but not to stand in the gap for anything, to stand in the gap for what he wants. You understand? Not for Islam, not for church, not for the Democratic and Republican Party, not for the military recruiters trying to get your sons to go get blown up in Afghanistan for 20 years. Not them. To go fight Russia and China in World War III. Not them. But to stand in the gap for what the Lord wants. To teach our people how to have the Lord on our side. The God that sends COVID and AIDS and wildfire and floods and earthquake and cancer. You understand? That's what the Lord wants. A man to teach our people who the power that controls everything is. That's what the Lord wants. And that is who the Lord is looking for. All right. So keep going. Any more on that scripture?
That
Go ahead.
I should not destroy it, but I found none.
That I should not destroy it.
That was it, sir.
He said that hey, Shalom, brother, Yahweh should break it up.
But I found none.
He said, I've been looking for a man to stand in the gap. Because if I find this man, I'm not going to destroy everything. If I find this man that's going to serve the Most High, if I find these men that are going to stand up and do things that I want, all right, whoever's listening, you got to listen with your computer on mute. You got to make sure your computer's on mute, all right? He said, if I'm looking for a man to stand in the gap, because if I find a man that stands in the gap, then he will say my instructions to the city. He's going to say my instructions to the city. That when the other nations come to conquer my people, I have a man there standing in the gap. I got a man there. You understand? I got a man there. He's standing in the gap. And when they come to say it's okay for little boys to wear dresses and dress up like women, there's a man that's standing in the gap in that city. There's a man that's standing in the gap in that home before the problem makes it to the city. Mommy doesn't see the danger the way that a man does. Of course, you sisters in the Isupk might see it because you here under the authority of the man that the Lord set up to be taught and get the wisdom and the spirit of the Most High that is not your own thoughts as a woman. You are here to learn what the Lord wants our people to be on watch for, to be looking out for. You understand? All right? Because the society that we live in, the world that we live in is not our world. And the other nations of people in this evil society will enforce their beliefs and their custom and their world on us. That is why there needs to be a man in the gap that is an opposing force to what they want to do. They want to take the Ukraine, but they can't because there's men there. You understand? America fought to take Afghanistan, but they can't because it's men in Afghanistan. They killed the Afghans for 20 years. And 20 years of them dying, you know what happened? America gave up and the Afghans won that war after being killed for 20 years because they have men to stand in the gap for their people. They weren't willing to give up Afghanistan to America. And Biden recognized it and he conceded and the Afghans won. You understand? That's what men are for. Now, the Lord is not with them. We don't care about any of them. They're not our people, and they're not the Lord's chosen people. But that is what men are for. You understand? You get men that serve the Most High, then the city will stop getting high. The city will stop having kidnappings. The cities right now are comfortable with the evil because the people there are evil. You understand? That's why we got to get into the second half here, all right? So go ahead, drop that scripture. Now what we want to do, all right? Let's see where we're going to start. We got a man is important. We got man, marriage. Let's see where we're going. How whoredom destroys our people. That's why it's very important for a man to be wise, to be paying attention. You understand? Give me Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. All right, and we're going to start there. All right. Hosea 4 and 1. Who is not read? All right. Let's see. And you got to just say Salakia. For those of you who don't know, you say Salakia. If you have a question, you start with Salakia. Salakia means forgive me, excuse me. That's where you would start. You say Salakia, sir. You got a question, Salakia, you want to read, you want to answer. That's how we communicate here in the Isupk, all right?
One time. Salakia.
All right, Most High in Christ sought for advance.
And out of a car.
And right, all right. We've got Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. We're going to start there and read some verses in there, all right?
Hosea chapter 4, verse 1.
Hold on 1 second.
Hear the word of the Lord.
1 second, brother. Hold on. Give me just a second. Who's reading? Who's reading? I heard a brother read. Who's reading? Okay. Young man, all right. All right. No sweat, warrior. No sweat. I'm put on mute. Salakia is like a request or it's a question. You understand? And it's waiting. So you don't want to just go ahead, but you're right. You got the zeal. That's what you want to do. All right. But you just want to wait to be called on there. And then we go ahead and get it on. All right. So go ahead and read it for me. All right.
Khan out of one Khan. Hosea 4, verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, you children of Israel.
Ye children of Israel, hear the word that the Most High is speaking. Again, this is not from all people. The Lord is not saying this to everyone. He's saying this to his kids. That's why he's saying the children of Israel. This is the dynamic of the Bible, is this is a father that is giving instructions to his children. He's saying, son, if you have a daughter, if you have a son, teach your son this. You got a daughter, teach your daughter this. My son, my children. This is a father talking to his kids. This is not God talking to everyone. This is a father and his family. That's what's in the Bible. All right. So keep going.
For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
The Lord angry. He got controversy. He got things that he is against the children, the inhabitants, the people that live in the land. He's mad about things. He's mad at our people because of what we are doing in the land. Keep going.
Because there is no truth.
There's no truth. It's a bunch of lies. There's a bunch of lies, and those things make the Lord angry. That's why he said there's no truth. They're teaching their children the tooth fairy, the Easter bunny, naked white babies with wings. They saying it's okay to murder your baby. If you didn't intend on starting a family or having kids, you go and have an abortion. They saying it's okay to shave your face. The Lord is against it. Get tattoos. The Lord is against it. Smoking weed and cigarettes. America gives you a right. God does not. You understand? America says a man can be a woman now and a woman can be a man now. God does not. America says a woman can teach the Bible. God does not. You understand? That's why he said, I have controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Keep going.
Nor mercy.
There's no mercy. Women killing their babies. There's no mercy. Brothers murdering their own brother in the streets and then go make a damn rap song about it and sell millions of records. There's no mercy. You understand? That angers the Lord. A strong and powerful man has the ability to show mercy. Being merciless is not a man. A man has the ability to show mercy. You understand? That's a very important thing. A man has the ability to show mercy. Man has the ability to be patient, to show mercy, to have patience, to know what's going on down the road. These things are important about a man. You understand? We've been shown a false sense of masculinity that is violent, that's hyper violent, hyper sexualized, hyper greedy. You understand? That is the examples that our people have been shown, because that is what our oppressor has promoted to us. Once the man that used to stand in the gap for our cities and our towns went to Africanism and Islam and back to Africa and Moorish science and Christianity and democracy and republicanism and Egyptology. We went every way, but did not go the way that the Lord said. That's why he said, I'm looking for a man to stand in the gap in my way. You understand? So keep going.
Nor knowledge of the power and the land.
Nor knowledge of the power. Knowledge of God is not in the land. Our people just finished celebrating Christmas. No one who has knowledge of the Most High should celebrate Christmas, because the Bible tells you not to do it. None of our people should celebrate New Year in the dead of winter, because it's the worship of Father Time, Janus. You understand? You ever seen a coin that's got two heads, one facing forward, one facing backwards? That's where you get your baby New Year. That's where you get your New Year, your New Year's resolution. All of that is the worship of a god, a Greek god. You understand? You can look up Janus. You can look up Chronos, which is quote unquote Father Time. If you've ever heard the term Father Time before, these are Greco-Roman mythological creatures that our oppressors renamed, that they got from the Greeks, that they got from Egypt, that they got from the ancient Babylonians, because white men don't create anything. You understand? They've duplicated every ancient civilization's culture. That's why they made a tower to reach to heaven, like we read in Genesis, the 11th chapter, the Tower of Babel, that international space station. They made a tower in heaven. You understand? That's what that's talking about. They recreated what Babylon was trying to do. If you go downtown in any major city, you'll see Roman architecture. And the Roman architecture was the Egyptian architecture. You understand? They're recreating the world's empires all here. That's why this place is Babylon, where all people come together with one goal and have one language and one thought that God has always been against. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 2.
Right.
By swearing and lying.
Swearing and lying. Keep going.
And killing.
Killing, murdering, committing murder. Keep going.
And stealing.
You're taking things that don't belong to you. Stealing people's bikes. Stealing people's cars. It starts off stealing a bike, then a car. Then you're stealing people's shoes. You're robbing your brother for his shoes, for his bike, because you're bigger. Then you're stealing cars. Then you're breaking in houses. You understand? Then you're snatching purses, snatching chains, snatching wallets. You understand? All of these things get out of hand very easily, and that is why it's important that a man be on watch for these things. You understand? Keep going.
In committing adultery.
Committing adultery. You having sex with another brother's woman. That is adultery. You have sex with a woman that already has a man. That is adultery. You understand? A woman having sex with any other man besides her husband. That is adultery. We're going to get into all of that in just a minute. That's adultery. That angers the Lord. You understand? There is no more dangerous a sin that you can do than a sin that is done in your body. If you rob and steal something, you are stealing something outside of yourself. You understand? If you break in someone's house, you're doing something outside of yourself. If you eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, you are taking something inside of yourself, but your body is pushing that back out. You understand? If you have sex with another man's woman, that is a sin that you are keeping inside of yourself. That is a sin you are doing inside of yourself. You are a woman that has sex with another man. That is a sin that you are keeping inside of yourself. You understand? Few things in life infuriate the Lord more than adultery. That is supposed to be a permanent covenant, a permanent relationship that is never to be broken. That's why our cities is filled with so much violence. You have sex with a woman, or a woman have sex with a man, and then she decides to leave that man to go be with someone better. That is how gang wars are started. That's how neighborhoods get shot up. That's how children end up getting molested. That's how you end up raising kids by yourself. You understand? That is a dynamic thing in our community that our oppressor society has destroyed us with, not understanding God's rules on sex and marriage, which we can get to. All right? So keep going, brother.
They break out.
They break
and
out.
Blood.
Right. They break out. What does it mean they break out? They breaking free. There's a boundary that is naturally set. That natural boundary was you have sex with a man, this is your husband. That natural boundary was if you get pregnant, you have sex, you get pregnant. You're having a baby. They break out of that boundary. Don't nobody tell me what the hell to do with my body. My body, my choice. I'm going to kill this baby. I don't want no more damn kids. I got a job. I got a career. I want to go to school. You done broke out of the Lord's boundary. God put a boundary that says you cannot date outside, you cannot marry outside of the children of your people. You are a Black, Hispanic, Native American man. You are only allowed to make families with Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. You know, broke outside of that. Give me a white woman. Give me an Asian woman. Give me an Arab woman. Get something exotic. All of this old kind of nonsense. There was a boundary that was already set amongst our people. Our people broke the hell out of those boundaries. You understand? Like, that's against the Lord. They talk about this, the first Black man to integrate baseball, and the first one to integrate music, and the first one to integrate the school system. There was a boundary that the Lord had set up that we were not supposed to break. The Lord didn't want boundaries broken. A boundary is put there for a reason. He told us what boundaries to set, where to set them, what were the standards for those boundaries. And then he said, put a man there to make sure that in case anyone is confused, there's a man that's looking around. What you doing? Why are you talking like that? No, little boys don't talk like that. Little boys don't behave like, why is she doing that? Well, you know, she doing it. No, she don't need to be dancing like that. Why is she doing that? Well, that, you know, all the young girls, no, I don't want to hear none of that. Why is she doing that? Tell her to stop. But y'all shooting the video? Why the hell y'all shooting the video? Got this baby over here twerking. Cut this goddamn video off. What the hell is wrong with you? You got my daughter in here dressed like this, doing some old stupid dance challenge. Get off this damn internet. There was a man there, and America broke outside of that boundary. Get him out the house. You get your own money. I'll get you a house. You don't need no man. Government will house you. Government will feed you. Government will take care of your kids. If you hear a noise and you scared in the middle of the night, you dial 911, and the government will send a man there to fix it. Get rid of him. You don't need him. Got my own job, got my own house, got my own car. You understand? That's what Megan Thee Stallion thought. So you end up getting shot in the damn leg, having hot girl summer, trying to live your best life. Like, the Lord is not playing. The Lord's rules on sex is life and death. Few decisions that you can make in your life that will cost you more than who you lay down and have sex with. You understand? So keep going.
And blood toucheth blood.
Blood touches blood. Blood shed everywhere. There's no boundaries on blood. There's no boundaries. It used to be that if somebody died, that was the end of the beef. Right or wrong? Now that's not the end of the beef. They dissing the dead. Brother died 10, 15 years ago. Everybody's singing the song. Dissing him. Dissing his dead memory. All over. I'm smoking on Jimmy. We smoking on Pookie. We smoking on Tuka. That pisses the Lord off. The Lord gonna send evil spirit upon evil spirit upon evil spirit, and your city will never have peace until there's some men to stand in the gap to teach our people better. You understand? To fight the fight that the Lord once fought for. You understand? Keep going. Keep going, brother.
Salakia, keep going.
Yeah, keep going, brother.
Con out of one con. Verse 3. Therefore shall the land mourn.
Therefore means this is why. God started off saying, I got a beef with the people in the land. There isn't enough people that's angry about what's going on the way I'm angry. This is acceptable. You understand? The people believe that this is acceptable. I tell you what, you're going to light all the candles you want, do all the crying you want, take all the medication you want, call all the police you want, do all the prayer vigils, get in all the religious groups you want. The Lord said, I promise you will not have peace in that land. You ain't going to take me for no joke. Nobody, all right, nobody care what I got to say. All right. Let's see how old everybody get. Okay. Let's see who makes it out of their 40s. Everybody want to smoke weed? Okay, let's see. Gangsta Boo just died at 43 years old. 3-6 Mafia. Love Gangsta Boo. Love 3-6 Mafia. Love their music. Sister just died 43 years old. You understand? Smoking weed weakens our people's heart. DMX died at 50. Advocate smoker. You understand? The Lord said he got controversy with the people in the land. Like there's a lot of things that happen on a daily basis amongst our people that absolutely infuriates the Lord. You understand? That's why he wanted a man to stand in the gap. He said, when I look around and see everything that I hate, I see one person that's obeying me. I'll have mercy on everything else. That's how it was in Noah's day. Had those people listened to Noah, as Noah talked to them about 120 years before the flood came, had they listened to Noah, the Lord would have spared those people. Jonah was sent to Nineveh. Everybody heard the story of Jonah and the whale, Jonah and the whale. Well, the Lord sent Jonah to Nineveh to tell the people in Nineveh to repent because he was going to destroy that entire city. Jonah didn't want to do it because he knew that the Lord was merciful and he might not destroy those people because Jonah wanted those people to die. You understand? He didn't want those people to be saved. Well, guess what? He ended up obeying the Lord, not by his own choice. Eventually, he chose to do it, but he ended up obeying the Lord. The people turned and repent. Nineveh turned back to the Most High, man. All right? So now, keep reading from where you are. You're going to read, and then, young man, Darnell, you can pick up at verse 4. All right? So finish verse 3.
Con out of one con. And everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish.
Everyone that lives in this area, they're going to languish. They're going to suffer. Life is going to be miserable. It's going to be filled with stress and heartache and sadness and struggle all the time. Like that is not how life was supposed to be. Life was not supposed to be a struggle. You weren't supposed to have to give away every quarter that you earned for a place to live and some food in your refrigerator. Life was not this way before we integrated. That's why as laws in the Bible, we're supposed to have our own land. We're supposed to have our own farm with our own chicken and our own cattle and our own fruits and vegetables. That is biblical laws in the Bible. You understand? That's laws that we're supposed to have. A part of that saying that the laws are done away with, there's a lot of forfeiting what makes you a nation, what makes you independent, what makes you be able to sustain yourself. A lot of the crime and poverty that our people are suffering comes from extreme poverty, not having food, suffering for a place to stay, families and relationships breaking up because money, bills, you can't pay for this. Where is this? Why we don't have that? Those things drive a person insane. They drive our people to madness. On top of, who's your father, the child molestation, raising kids by yourself, the drug addiction, the police, trying to find a job, bad schools, bad water, poisonous air, bad everything. Like all of those things compound, which is why we are supposed to have our own. If we got an army of brothers and sisters, we'd have our own farm with our own land, to have our own goats and our own food supply. So we would not be dependent on our oppressors, you understand? And we had that in Egypt. Egypt was not our land. We lived in the land of Goshen. a segregated side of Egypt that was only for the children of Israel. That's where we lived in Egypt. We didn't live in cities with the Egyptians. You understand? Like, this is the spirit the Lord wants us to take back on. This is not saying quit your jobs and pull your kids out of school, even though eventually we're going to need to pull our kids out of these damn schools in America. These schools is completely out of their pocket. There's absolute madness in the schools. It's damn near jail when I was going to school. You understand? But like, this is what the Lord is the reason these things are happening. So keep going. Right from language. No language.
Oh man. Just start
from the top of verse 3. Just start from the top.
Okay, Khan. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field.
With the beasts of the field. These are the animals that live in the field. The beasts of the field is also talking about the other nations of people. The beasts of the field. Keep going.
And with the fowls of heaven.
The fowls of the heaven is talking about the birds that fly in the sky. Heaven, this is talking about the sky. You know it's talking about the sky, which is heaven. The word heavens is referring to the sky where the birds fly, outer space, you understand, where the stars are, and the kingdom of rulership that's on the earth. And then you have the third heaven, which is in the fourth dimension with the Most High. Given the context of the scripture, that's going to tell you which one. That's why it says the fowls. The fowl is an old word for a bird, the birds that fly in heaven. So that's what that's saying. So keep going.
Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away.
The fish of the sea shall be taken away. Why is he saying that? That is exactly what I just finished mentioning. Because we did not obey the Most High, we had our own fish. Everybody make sure your computer is on mute. Whoever's listening on your computer, just make sure it's on mute. All right? Because I'm hearing myself with the reverb. All right? The fish of the sea is saying that because we had our own fish. Now you got to eat fish out of bag. Unless you got a fish tank where you're raising your own tropical fish, or your own sunfish, your own crappie, your own bluegill, your own trout, your own perch. Other than that, you're getting your fish unless you got a wharf nearby. But for the most part, we're eating our food not from our own fresh sources. We don't have our own cattle. That's why we have to pay our oppressors for cattle and for fowls that we would eat, like a turkey or a chicken or a quail. Quail is lawful. It's just a small bird like a Cornish hen. You understand? We pay our oppressors for our meat because we don't have our own now that we stopped listening to the Most High. And now that we stopped listening to the Most High, we don't even have the mindset to teach the future generations all of the farming and everything that we had before, because it was looked at as something that was low, that it was beneath, that it was uneducated. And now here we are trying to get back land again to have farming. Like, these things were in the Bible. The Bible said the things written aforetime were for our learning, but no one was teaching us the Bible. We've been learning Christianity for 50, 60, 70, 100 years, and we have not been learning what's actually written in the Bible. You understand? So go ahead and finish off verse 3, brother. Is that the end of verse 3?
Con out of one con.
All right, Most High in Christ. Young man Darnell, you take over from verse 4. I think you're muted, brother. You got to unmute yourself. Go ahead, take over from verse 4. You got it.
Hosea 4, chapter 4, verse 4. Yet let no man strive, nor reprove one another.
All right. He said, don't let anyone strive or reprove one another. He said, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Nobody correct anybody. Keep going.
For the people are as they strive with the priests.
For thy people, for your people. This ain't all people. For thy people are as they that strive with the priests. Don't worry about them. Don't correct them. These are the people that's fighting against the priests. The Lord set up the priests to say what's acceptable. The Lord set up the priests to tell our people that the Lord is displeased, that the Lord going to send plagues, the Lord going to send curses. The people fighting against the priests. Don't tell them nothing. Don't worry about it. They don't want to listen. We're going to see what's going to happen in the end. That's what the Lord said. Like the Lord was pissed off. And that is the spirit that's on our people now, that no one can be corrected. You understand? Give me verse 5. Keep going.
Verse 5. Therefore shalt thou fall in the day,
Keep going.
and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night.
The prophet is going to
And I will
fall in
destroy.
the day. All right. Go ahead, finish it out.
And I will destroy thy mother.
Destroy who?
Thy mother.
The Lord said, you're going to fall during the daytime. And the prophet, the one that you're looking up to, he's going to fall by the night. And I will destroy your mother. You understand? Meaning you're going to fall. Whoever you following is going to fall. And your mother's going to be destroyed. Keep going.
Verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
For lack of knowledge. Now, in the beginning, the Lord was giving the correction. This is the prophet Hosea. The Lord gave the correction and the knowledge through the prophet. That's why the prophet is getting the word to tell the people. The people didn't want to listen to the Lord. They didn't want to hear what the Lord had to say. They didn't want to hear the prophet. The Lord said, nah, don't correct nobody. This was going to happen. Just say it. They ain't going to listen to you. Just say it. Keep going. Give me verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Keep going.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge,
Because
I will also reject thee.
you see that comma right there, brother? That's very important. You see the commas, the semicolons, all of those things is signaling a pause so that what's in between that to that point can be broken down. Because when you go out on the street and you're reading, that's very important to know, because that needs to be broken down. Because thou hast rejected knowledge. Because when the Lord sent the priests, he sent them to say, y'all can't eat pork while they kept eating pork. You can't get high while they kept getting high. You can't marry the daughters of the Moabites and Ammonites and Elam. You can't marry the other nations of people. That angers the Lord. Nobody gave a damn. I'm rich. I got my money, my body, my choice. Don't nobody tell me what to do. I'm my own man. The Lord said, okay, because you rejected my knowledge, I'm going to reject you. Let's see what happens to you. Keep going.
I will also reject thee.
All right. The Lord is not unconditionally
That
loving
thou
nobody.
shalt be no.
Right. The Lord is not unconditionally loving nobody. He said, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to turn my back on you. Let's see where you end up. This is not mommy. The Lord is a man of war. If you don't want to do what the Lord says, the Lord said, I am against you. We beefing right now. He said, you reject me, you going to call me for help. I ain't going to answer. Keep going.
That thou shalt be no priest to me.
And you won't be a priest to me. You won't be a
Seeing
priest.
thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
Go ahead, brother. I think your connection is breaking up. That's why we have that. Go ahead, brother.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
The Lord take his beef seriously. He ain't playing. Talking about the women and children innocent. That ain't what the Lord said. The Lord said, you play with me, I'll take this beef to your children. The Lord ain't playing. All right, no sweat. You don't want to hear me? You want to eat pork? I bet your kids that have that high blood pressure I give to you. I promise you. I bet you this cancer run through the family. Don't nobody want to listen to what I'm saying? I'll send an evil spirit. It'll chase generation after generation. You want to get high? You want to sell drugs? I bet your children be born addicted to drugs. I bet you. The Lord take his beef serious. He not playing, man. I bet when you get back in a few generations, you'll be born addicted to the crack you're selling now. The Lord is not playing, man. The Lord is a man of war. He ain't just letting it slide, man. He ain't letting it go. Like the Lord said, I don't want you mocking me. Otherwise, they're going to think I'm a sucker. They're going to think I'm a joke. They're going to think I'm a game. I tell you what, I'm going to reject you and I'm going to reject your kids. You're going to be wondering what's going on. You didn't want to listen to my prophets when I sent them? No sweat. We'll see what happens. This is the Lord talking. You got to remember, this is a black man. You understand? This is Pop. This is a black man. This ain't mommy. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 7. As they were increased.
As they were increased. The more wealth you got, the more money you got, the more this, the more that. As you didn't feel like you needed to obey me as much. Because now you're not dependent on food. You got enough food stored up. You ain't dependent on me to get your money. Because you got money stored up. You got your own money, your own wealth, your own house. You ain't in the wilderness depending on me to keep you safe from the bears and the rattlesnakes. You straight. You don't need me no more. And brothers get wealthy. They get straight. They get straightened out after the Lord take care of them. Then they turn their back on the Most High. Happens all the time. The whole nation did this to the Lord. That's how we ended up in slave ships and on reservations. You understand? Keep going.
So they sinned against me.
Keep going.
Slack it. Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
Meaning their glory is going to be shame. It used to be glorious to be the people of God. It's not glorious being black, Hispanic, Native American no more. It was glorious being the children of God. We knew the seasons. We knew the weathers. We knew the time. We knew the stars. We knew things that happened before they happened because the Lord had already taught us. We knew the cycle of life. We knew reincarnation. We knew about farming and crops and agriculture, sanitation, construction work and medicine, quarantine. We knew about all of these things because God gave us that glory from being his people. All of that is contained in the law. You understand? We had all of that. There's not a civilization that we came in contact with that we did not absolutely change the society of those people. You had a question, young man, Kenny?
Yes, sir. Salakia. I was just wondering, these are the minor prophets, the part of the Bible that they call the minor prophets, correct?
Yeah, we don't say that. We don't ever say that. Come.
But my question is that at the time that they was prophesying, was we still in was we in a captivity or was we in rulership?
We were always in captivity. It was a very short period of time that we weren't in captivity. We stayed in captivity. Hosea was sent to the house of Israel. The house of Israel was the so-called northern kingdom. After King Solomon married heathen women, he set up temples. You can read this in 1 Kings 17th chapter. He set up temples so that the nation of Israel started to worship their gods. He married the Egyptian women, Africans there. He married a whole bunch of heathen women and took their culture and set their gods up in our land. And the Lord said that I would take the kingdom from your son. But he didn't take it from King Solomon because he already swore an oath to King David. So when King Solomon's son took over, we didn't split and became the house of Israel, or the so-called Northern Kingdom, which today would be known as so-called Hispanics and Native Americans. The head of the Northern Kingdom is the tribe of Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans. The Southern Kingdom, known as the Jews or Judah, which is what Jew is short for, are so-called West Indians, so-called Negroes, so-called Haitians. You understand? We are known as so-called Jews according to the Bible. We were the Southern Kingdom, which was the house of Judah or the Jews, you understand, or simply just referred to as Judah in the Bible. All 12 tribes together, you understand?
I asked because I was reading, Hosea, then I'm reading the first chapter, the first verse Hosea that was just saying it was in the days of the king. So, you know,
Right.
that's just trying to place the time period, you know, when exactly was it, you know, that they was prophesying.
Right. The kings. Hosea was sent to prophesy to the kings of the northern kingdom. Of course, didn't listen. He was sent specifically to the northern kingdom. He wasn't sent to Judah. We were separated. At this time, we were the equivalent of two separate countries. You understand? We were two separate countries because of this split that the Most High did, because of what King Solomon did. So the house of Israel, that's why when you get to the New Testament, Christ said, I'm sending my disciples who are Jews to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The purpose and the mission was to reunite so-called Negroes back to so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, who were just everybody was a native of the Americas until the white man from Spain and Portugal named everyone, you know, Hispanic or Latino. Other than that, everybody was just the natives. Native Americans just got referred to as the Indians or Native Americans, but when the white man came from Europe, everybody was an Indian that was there. The Caribbean, the Arawaks, the Caribs, the Tainos, the Aztec, the Maya, the Inca, everybody was an Indian. Then they made another class or title for their own people so that they could legitimize all the raping, robbery, and murder that they did, and the empire that they built for themselves, so that they could continue their Spanish heritage and their Portuguese heritage in this new world for themselves. That's why they speak in Spanish, got names like Reyes, Ramirez, and Colon, and Colombia, and America. These are all Italian, French, Spanish, Dutch. These are their names that we have. John, Son, Jenkins, Jones, Jackson. These are their names that they made. You understand?
So why?
I in the bar. That answer your question, brother?
Find out one car.
All right, Most High in Christ. All right. So why the young man Nate take over from verse 8. Okay, 4 and 8.
Verse 8. They eat up the sin of my people.
He said they eat the sin of my people. Who is eating the sin of my people? All of the other nations are eating our sins. That's why if you go to the gas station, they got bongs in the gas station, they got digital scales, they got crack pipes, they got meth bowls, freebase bowls, especially in Virginia. Went to a gas station in Virginia. Virginia has crack pipes in the gas station. They got freebase bowls, they got hookah bowls. That hookah that people smoking now, that comes from the damn opium dens, where the British shipped opium from India, because that's where heroin comes from. Those fields of Afghanistan, India, Pakistan, all of that area, that's where opium comes from. That's where you get your opioids. That's where you get your Percocets. That's where you get your lean, which is liquid heroin. And that's where you get your opium. That's where they came from. And they would smoke in the opium dens. They did that to the Chinese to get their people addicted to drugs so that they could rule over them. And good men who love their Chinese people, they forced their people to get off of drugs, and they chased the British who were turning their people into drug addicts. They chased them out of China because they loved their people. The same way that Gandhi, another man who loved his people, chased the British out of India. They stopped wearing their clothes. They stopped buying their tea. They locked up something like 60,000 of those East Indians. That's what Martin Luther King got that march on Washington. That came from Gandhi. That did not came from the Bible. That came from Gandhi. You can look up the Salt March, where they marched. I believe it was on the Salt Sea, because they refused to buy the British tea. They didn't wear the British clothes. That's why you see those East Indians wearing their traditional garments. They didn't dress like white men to get free. They dressed like their people, and they separated, and they got themselves free by playing the men with courage for their cities and their people, which is exactly how any nation gets free. And the Lord requires us to do the exact same. All right. So when it says they eat the sins of our people, because our people sin against the Most High, some back alley East Indian doctor can sell butt injections to sisters that's going to explode and they're going to die when the fluid leaks into their lungs, because our people have our sense of worth from the other nations. They eat our sins. You understand? Now, it's not a sin to get butt injections, but it's not wise either. And like anything that you do, you want to count the reason and the spirit behind why you are doing something. There's a spirit. You got to learn the spirits. That's what you're being taught. A lot of learn the spirits. There's a spirit behind why you're celebrating Christmas. It's not just because it's Christmas time. You might not know why, but there's a spirit behind it. You understand? We understand the spirits in here because we are spiritual. And the Lord has instructed us on what to do and what not to do so we can instruct our people. That is why the Lord sought a man to stand in the gap, to set the hedge, to tell our people as far as we can go and when it is time to turn back. That's why. All right. So they eat the sins of our people. Who else eats our sins? The police department. Every robbery, every murder, every drug dealing, because our families are destroyed, our sons join gangs. And they can wait at any moment, just like they're doing, to hit Sioux Surf and the Rolling 60s in New Jersey with a RICO charge. The Grape Street trips in New Jersey with the RICO charge. The 9 trays down in Norfolk get the RICO charge. The 8 trays over here get the RICO. The Trinitarios and the Gangster Disciples, 300 in Atlanta get the RICO charge. 55 in Memphis get the RICO. 25 in Clarksville and Chattanooga and all over. 30 Crips, 40 Crips, 50 Bloods, 60 Bloods, 100 MS-13, 75 in this gang. They can sweep up our people at any point in time to eat the sins of our people. They're eating our people for sinning against them. You go to celebrate Christmas. They're eating our people sinning against the Lord, because if we were not sinning, we wouldn't be buying thousands of dollars of toys and putting trees in our houses. But they can eat off of us because we disobey the Lord. Same way they sell their pills, their heroin, their opium, their weed. They sell all of those things and they get rich off of our people. A lot of is a misconception in America. Rich white senators in the American government is getting that drug money. The brothers and sisters in these cartels in Mexico, they are not getting that drug money. Those brothers and sisters are dirt poor. They're not living and reaping the benefits. The only reason that they are in these drug cartels, chainsawing and hacking and shooting people up, is because everyone is in absolute poverty and desperation for a crumb and a loaf of bread, that they are willing to do something that people die god-awful, horrible deaths to do, just for the hopes that they might be able to survive, because there are no men of God to establish his order in Mexico. You understand? There's churches everywhere. And the church does not have the Spirit of God, which is why our people are left in such dire situations. You understand? So they eat the sins of our people. Keep going.
And they set their heart on their iniquity.
They set their heart on sin. Meaning their heart is set on sin. On iniquity, that's what means a sin. Their heart is set to do evil. That's what Aaron was saying in the wilderness. You understand? Their hearts are fully set to do evil. I'm on, you understand? I know they might lock me up, they might kill me, they might whatever. I'm gonna sell it. You understand? I'm out here slinging. I don't care what happened. Death or the grave. Get rich or die trying. I don't give a damn. Lock me up, shoot me, stab, whatever happened, I'm gonna do my thing. I don't give a damn. Our hearts are fully set on evil. The Center for Disease Control says that if you are a black man and you are a homosexual, you have a higher chance than people in sub-Saharan Africa without running water, AC, or sanitation. You have a higher chance of contracting HIV and AIDS and dying from it than anyone else on the entire planet anywhere. And it's been that way since what? The 80s? Yet and still, our people's heart is fully set on evil. Did homosexuality get more popular or less popular in the black community? Is it more popular or is it less popular than when you were a child, than when you went to high school? You brothers, just tell me. Young man down there, is it more popular now or is it less popular? Did our people learn from all the AIDS in the 80s and the 90s and sharing needles? Did our people learn? Is it less or more popular now? Young man down there,
Salakia, if I may, sir, it's crazy. When I was younger, it was the big. Salakia, if I may, sir, when I was younger, it was the big thing. Everybody knew about it. You scared of it, and now it's no big deal. It's all on
no
the
big deal.
commercials. You can do what you want. You see the gay dude on TV. It's no big deal now.
On the beach holding hands, doing an AIDS commercial. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Damn right. The water. What about you, young man Nate, young man Kenny? Did seeing that all the death that AIDS and our people becoming homosexual has done is not hidden from anyone. Did it become more or less popular?
Salak, I'm in the school system, so it's way popular than when it was when I was in school.
It's more popular now.
Yeah, it's like accepted.
More popular. All right. What about you, Mataz Akura? Is it more or less popular now?
So it's definitely more popular.
It's more popular.
Absolutely, especially in the school systems. I think they're trying to extra normalize it. I got children that are in middle school, and they come home talking about these girls holding hands. That kind of stuff never went down when I was in school.
So it's more popular now, even though 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, that 6 decades of something everyone knows is going to kill you. That the White Man's Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization said, if you are black man and black woman, Hispanic man and Hispanic woman, if you live this type of lifestyle, here is the disproportionate amount of data from over 6 decades saying that this horrible, fatal, terminal illness is going to happen to you more than everyone else on the planet. Did anyone stop? What about drugs? How many years have we been hearing about dying from drugs? The crack epidemic and heroin and smoking sherm and PCP. Is smoking, it's now black people don't smoke no more, right? Smoking is no longer accepted in the black and Hispanic community, right? Everyone stopped because of all the throat cancer and the lung cancer and the heart disease and the drug overdoses and the crack overdoses and the smoking everybody stopped now, right? Is it more or less popular? It is more popular. And that is exactly what this scripture is saying. Their hearts are fully set on doing evil. Like this is what the Lord was saying. Our people were like this before we went into captivity. That's why the Lord put us in slave ships. You understand? And that's what we have to turn our people from. You understand? That's why we can't celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's, because we got a battle to fight to fix our people. You understand? Like this is what the Lord is talking about. Okay? So go ahead, brother. Keep reading.
God. And there shall be like people.
Go ahead.
Like priests.
All right.
And I will punish them for their ways.
Go ahead.
And reward them for their doings.
The Lord said he will reward them for their doings. You're going to get hit with the RICO charge like YSL, like the other group, Young Fly this, Young Fly whoever. They got hit with the RICO too. They all in jail too. You understand? The Lord does not approve. You understand? He doesn't approve of having sex with whores and being a homosexual and selling drugs and shooting up and gangbanging and murdering and popping pills and drinking lean. The Lord disapproves. You understand? All right. Take me down to verse 13. Same brother.
God. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains.
Our people were sacrificing to idols on the top of the mountains. Keep going.
And burn incense upon the hills under oaks and
poplars
and
elms.
elms.
These things are talking about trees. It's just naming different types of trees, big trees, and it says why. Keep going.
Because the shadow thereof is good.
Because it's shade. It just conceals you. Meaning it know that this is something wrong that they're not supposed to do, but the shadow conceals you. It covers you up. It conceals you. No one can see you. And because of that, young man, Kenny, I think your connection went out, brother. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down. Just come back in. Are you still there?
Con out of one con.
All right. Most High in Christ. No sweat. The water. All right. It says there's a good shadow. Nobody can really see you there. You know, they were hiding this thing. And the Lord was like, I see you. But the shadow was good. So they went to do these things there. And the Lord is saying, I know you're doing them there. But you know what? What the hell? Nobody want to listen to me. Let's see. Keep going.
Therefore, your daughters shall commit whoredom.
Because you do these evil things that I'm saying not to do, your daughter's going to turn to OnlyFans. Never in the history of the Black community has there been a generation of women and young girls that have been so open, that have been so accepting of blatant prostitution. This is what the Bible is talking about. OnlyFans is prostitution. Movie stars are prostituting themselves. Young girls, mothers, wives, OnlyFans, Backpage, the damn Snapchat. What was some of the other? Plenty of Fish, all the ones you hear about. Somebody did this and we met up and then they kidnapped and now they find them dead in a dumpster a couple of months later. You understand? Like, this has become like a regular job. Like, you're going to go and you're going to get up in the morning, you're going to go to work. Like, that is like a source of income. Oh, I'm an OnlyFans model. No, you are a prostitute. And that has become acceptable. You understand? We're getting down to this point. All right, which we might need to finish next week. But keep going. This is what the Lord said. Because you did these things, because you're getting high, because you don't want to take seriously serving the Most High, the Lord said your daughters are going to commit whoredom. Your daughter's going to have a bunch of kids by different men. God said this is going to happen. You won't be, you understand? You won't be walking, you won't be giving your daughter away to her husband. She's going to find husbands all over the city. She's going to find husbands everywhere because nobody wanted to obey the Lord. This is what the Lord said. Keep going.
And your spouses shall commit adultery.
Your spouses, your own woman going to whore on you now. This was not something that was culturally accepted, but it was accepted. The more and more the preachers say, woman, thou art loose. You got to level up. You hear that all the time. I got to level up, and that's not who God wanted me to be with. God got somebody better for me. I think I deserve better. You understand? You can see that all over the internet. Lots and lots of people is repeating the talking points that the Isupk has been saying for decades. So now you can talk and hear sisters saying exactly what's in there. All of those different shows. That's how Kevin Samuels got famous. That's how all these other shows and people are saying exactly what we've been saying in the UPK. But of course, they're not in the truth. And Satan is not fighting against them the way that he's fighting against us. So they are able to just gain and grow exponentially. You understand? But you can hear and see these things that this is whoredom. Why did you leave your husband? Oh, I just wanted something exciting. That's a whore. You left your man to go chase excitement. You destroyed this family to go get excitement. 70% of divorces, this is with a ring and a paper. That is not marriage according to us in the Bible. You understand? According to the Bible, sex is marriage. You understand? 70% of divorces are filed by women. That means that the families that everyone is talking about, we got to fix Black commandments. We got to fix the Black community. We got to do this for the Black. That means that women are destroying the home. They're destroying the family. They're choosing to make the kids grow up without their fathers. This is why the Lord did not give a woman a right to make this decision. It is bad for them. That's why they're on a ton of pills, a ton of antidepressants, a ton of anxiety medications, because you as a woman are not supposed to be facing life on your own. You are supposed to give your report to your man, and he determines how much. He determines the hedge and the boundaries for you and those children. He say no, that's as far as you go. How do you get one? Your father is supposed to decide so that he can examine a man. You can't tell that this man is going to punch you in the eye when you say something he doesn't like. The father can tell. You can't tell. We don't advocate violence. We don't promote violence. We don't allow that here in our school either. You Christians are the ones that's doing all this damn violence, all this beating, all this abusing, all this burning people, all of this pimping and prostituting. You Christians are doing these things. You understand? And the Lord said, because our people refuse to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, all of this evil that we are reading about, he is going to turn it loose. You understand? And now we are here fighting to bind it back up again. You understand? To teach our people the correct way the Lord said for us to live. So give me verse 14.
I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom.
It used to be a punishment. This was another thing. Now it's legal, but you were not allowed to leave your man. There was a punishment for that. Now not only is it promoted, but it's accepted. The Christian church made and pushed for women to leave their men. The feminist movement pushed, which only worked because of the Christian church. The only way we got abortion clinics and Planned Parenthood, which was the eugenics movement, so black families could get smaller, so that the father was not there to strengthen that household, to make those strong brothers that took over the cities and the communities that raised families, because white people could not make kids as fast as we can. Because Karen is infertile. That's why they got in vitro fertilization and this and that. You understand? That wasn't for Maria. That wasn't for Kiki. That wasn't for Miss Mabel. That wasn't for, you understand, Miss Dorothy. That wasn't for us. That wasn't for Pop. That wasn't for Jimmy, Jose, Javier. Those things were so their people could reproduce. They had the problem making children. And the problem was you made children much better than they did, because the Lord did not bless them that way. So they needed to find a way to make your family smaller, to take away your wealth, to take away your structure. So now they can incentivize making smaller families, having less kids, killing off your babies. Tell a woman to leave her man, the children you can't control. Now they can eat the sins of our people. Now they bring in drugs. You put in drugs. You wipe out an entire generation. You mass incarcerate them. 30, 40 years later, you legalize the same drugs. Now they have an ingrained culture of doing things that is against the Lord that would never be accepted. No father would have allowed his daughter to dress the way that sisters allow the kids to dress today. Fathers would have never allowed that in the 70s, in the 60s, in the 80s. But in the late 80s, they got rid of all the fathers. When Daisy Dukes and hot pants started coming out, wasn't no daddy around to say you can't wear that. Because mommy thought it was cute. Like a lot of you sisters like dressing your daughter up like she your girlfriend. You dress her the way you dress yourself. Dress some baby like a grown woman. Put her in all kind of strapless dresses and taking model pictures with her. You better start letting babies be babies. This is a wicked, evil society that you feed wicked, evil people that eat the sins of our people because it ain't no man around. There ain't no man to police and have authority and see the natural things that a man sees are completely different from what a woman sees. The proper order is that a man is supposed to be in charge everywhere. You understand? And it is that way everywhere, except for where Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans are. That's the only place where it's not that way. You understand? So go ahead and finish verse 14.
Nor your spouses when they commit adultery.
Like before, you didn't just get to live your life. Everybody knows that if you harm the police, that you are going to face serious consequences. which we don't advocate. If you do so, you're a dummy and you're going to face serious consequences. Everybody knows that if you rob a bank, you are going to face serious consequences. Everybody knows that. Well, it was known that if you are a woman that whores on her man, you will face serious consequences. That's how it was. And that prevented all of the things that we would have been able to get to now, but we might not be able to get through all of them in our next set of scriptures. We might need to finish it next week. But that prevented the widespread, I'm a diva, I'm a queen, I'm a boss, you don't own me, I want half. I'm getting a divorce, you're going to pay me alimony for the rest of my life. No bill you will ever get where you have to pay this bill for the rest of your life. No bill. You have to literally pay a bill for the rest of your life. And that is what America did. This is an evil kingdom. You understand? A wicked kingdom. That's why Project Pat is rapping, I'm going to get an extra couple of $1,000 claiming your child on my taxes. You're going to pay child support, and me and your baby mama smoking weed, laughing at you. You understand? I know that's your baby mama. I know that it hurts some. You know, when we get together, I'm going to let her work some. You understand? Like, this exists because the same level of consequence that our people recognize for robbing a bank or doing something crazy, that fear of the Lord of knowing what to do and what not to do is gone. It's been gone for decades. That has to be re-put back into our people's spirit. You understand? Like, everybody knew you can't leave your man. What you talking about? You can't do that. Like, that was not even a thought in our people's mind. But now it's the first thought. So much so, even by America's standards, ain't nobody even getting that ring in that piece of paper. 60% failure out the gate first time around. 45, 50-something% chance. Like, it's a destruction. And this is what the Lord has been saying. You understand? So go ahead and finish verse 14.
God, for themselves are separated with whores.
He said because they separated with whores. Imagine, see how whoring became. I remember when Lil' Kim first came out in the 90s, Lil' Kim was ostracized. She would perform. Y'all might not follow hip hop. I was a DJ for many years in college, and I studied music and wrote music. So for many years. So I followed music. I followed hip hop. I followed lots of different types of music for many years. When Lil' Kim first came out, they did not accept Lil' Kim. They did not like Lil' Kim rapping about what she rapping. My box this, my box that. I'm blowing rods. They did not like Lil' Kim doing that. She out on the guys is rapping and she get there rapping, showing her breasts off, showing her body off. They did not like her doing that. They didn't like that. That was not accepted. That was promoted. More and more and more and more Lil' Kim showed up. Like Adina Howard back in the early 90s, an R&B singer. She was known to be very provocative, very raunchy, even for the time's sake. You understand? Now, of course, the sister made some good music as well. However, she was not accepted in the community. She was not accepted in the music world because she did things that pushed the hedge that went beyond the boundaries of what our society accepted. And the more and more we got away from the Most High, the less and less there were men to set the standards and the hedge for the family, the more and more things like that became accepted. Now, you understand, you got everybody. Megan Thee Stallion, this one, that one, you know, they on a damn rap video, you're the woman rapping and you got backup dancers and the dancers are strippers and you are a stripper, but you're the rapper that's doing the stripping. You understand? It's like the whole thing is just absolute foolishness. They're robbing these sisters blind. They're parading them naked all over the damn world. And white singers don't do this to sell records. White rappers don't kill other white people to sell their records. Eminem didn't kill anybody to sell his records. Machine Gun Kelly didn't kill nobody to sell his records. Post Malone and what's his name? Mac Miller, they didn't kill anybody to sell records. They didn't have to go back and forth to jail and, you know, he got in trouble. They didn't do that to sell their records. You understand? Like, they promoted this to our people. That's why it's important for a man to be in charge, to set the hedge over what is acceptable and what is not. These things are unacceptable. And the sooner we get back to a man in the head that the Lord said, for the things that the Lord wanted, then things will get turned back the proper way that the Lord wanted them to be. So we over the time. We're not going to have time to go to Deuteronomy. We certainly won't make it through all of this. Let's see. Okay, looks like it froze. Salakia, let's see if we can get any of it. Name his wife. Go a little bit over. Okay. Take me to, let's see if we can get a couple of these. Take me to Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 19. I think this is 19. Yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 19. All right, Deuteronomy 22. Batazar Qur'an, you got it.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 19. Slack. And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver.
Salakia. Let me get to it. Not that one. Salakia. 100 shekels of silver. $22. What it does. All right. Take me to verse 28. See if we can speed up a little bit. Take me to verse 28.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin.
A man find a damsel. A damsel just means a woman, a young woman, a woman that is a virgin. A virgin is a young woman of marriageable age. That's what the term virgin means. Because of the Christian church, we have to explain this. A virgin, which is a biblical term, a man cannot be a virgin. A virgin is something that is tied to a menstrual cycle. Virginity and tokens of virginity, these are biblical words. Of course, Christians don't understand the Bible, and they try to equate feminism and masculinity as though they are equal. A man and a woman are not the same. A man cannot be a virgin. A virgin is talking about a woman, all right? A woman of marriageable age, you understand? She's a virgin. She becomes a virgin, you understand, or her virginity, which you'll see in the Bible. This is a time when her body is now begin to bleed once a month. She now produces eggs that will be used to fertilize to make more people. That's what's known as her virginity. Is her ability. Her body is now producing eggs. She has her cycle once a month. The Bible also calls it her flower. How it used to be is a woman would smell. She would have an aroma of flowers. She would smell like flowers when she was on her cycle, which is not the case now. But that is how it used to be before the Lord cursed and punished us for disobeying him. That's why in the Bible it's called her flower. You understand? All right. So it says a woman who is a virgin. Go ahead.
Which is not betrothed.
She's not betrothed, meaning she's not engaged to a man. She's not already dealing with another man. This new phenomenon that Christianity has created by so destroying everything that God set up in the Bible, this thing called dating. Dating is a Christian concept. This thing did not exist before. Being with someone 5, 10 years, all of that. Sex is marriage according to the Bible. That's why we're going here to read this. Dating was not our culture. The dating world and all of these things and trying to find dates and get a good date and dating world and boyfriend, girlfriend, These things don't exist. You understand? The Bible is black and white. There's no gray area in the Bible. You have sex, you are married. You're not dating. All of that dating is women having sex with multiple men, brothers having sex with sisters and throwing them away. You're married. There is no dating. Dating is not in the Bible. Boyfriend, girlfriend is not in the Bible. That's not biblical. You understand? So keep going.
And lay hold on her.
He lay hold on her. I mean, I got you in the palm of my hand. He's spitting game to her. He talking to her. He lay hold on her. This is not talking about he take his hands physically and force her. That's what the previous verses up are talking about. If we have time, we might go to those. But this is the point that I wanted to hammer home with what we wanted to get to. So he lay hold on her. He spit game to her. He talking to her like a metaphor you would have heard. You have them eating out of the palm of your hand, or I have her in the palm of my hand. That's what this is talking about. He lay hold on her. She's captivated with it. Keep going.
And lie with her.
And lie with her. He have sex with her. Keep going.
And they be found.
And they be found. They done found out. You done got caught. You sneaking through the window, hiding up underneath of the bed. It be found out. This chapter is so important. I wish we had enough time. I don't want to keep y'all too long, but it's so important for the breakdown of this. We might go ahead and do it. You understand? Anybody that's headed to their slavery tonight, y'all got like another 10 or 15 minutes. We go ahead and break this thing down right. Anybody, just let me know. Just let me know. You do, y'all got to be up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning doing some shift, driving trucks or something. Let me know. If not, we need like another 10 minutes to really hit this thing right, to break down what it's saying. All right, everybody, Tawab? All right, Most High in Christ. Just let me know. Just let me know, all right, because we're going a little bit over, all right? So keep going.
Verse 29. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father.
Unto who?
The damsel's father.
Unto who?
The damsel's father.
He shall give to that brother. What? Go ahead.
50 shekels of silver.
50 shekels of silver. He gonna give to that father 50 shekels of silver. Why is he paying that father? What is the father getting money for? It's a very foreign concept these days. It's one of the most important concepts to understand as a man, and it's a very important concept to understand as you choose a woman as well. Go ahead, Mataza.
Slacky, sir, is that related to the dowry practice they used to?
It is related to the dowry, and it's not a used to. There's still, we have dowries in Isupk. It is correct. The reason you are paying that father is because that daughter is property of that father. You understand? And you have now gone and taken this brother's property without his permission. You understand? You've taken something from him that now, because you have had sex with her, she now belongs to you. You understand? You were not supposed to do this, but you were found out. And now you got to make it right. There's no getting out of this. You understand? Keep going. 50 shekels of silver. All right, go ahead.
And she shall be his wife.
What makes her his wife? What makes her his wife?
Right. It
ain't the 50 shekels of silver. He paying the 50 shekels of silver because of something he did. Shalom, Cap. So bring it up. What makes her his wife? Go ahead. Brother says Salaki. Go ahead.
Because he had sex with her, sir.
Yes. That's why she is now a wife. That father can't have her back because she has a husband now. You understand? She has a husband. He can't just give her back to the father. You understand? Keep going.
Because he hath humbled her.
He hath humbled her. He's had sex with her. He's seen her nakedness. He went inside of this sister. And now he cannot do that and then throw her away. He can't do that and give her back. Her life has completely changed, whether she gets pregnant or not. That father cannot now go and give his daughter to another man now that this act has been taken. because now it is adultery. And then that is going to bring curses on some brother who does not know that this brother has given him a daughter who has played the whore. Because if she didn't say anything, and this brother who hid it and thought he was going to sneak out the window, he didn't say nothing, that is going to bring a curse on some other brother that does not know that he is marrying some whore that has already had sex with another man, and they just swept it under the rug. You understand? Like, these are very important responsibilities that only having a man in authority to stand in the gap the way that the Lord wants, that will this even matter? Nobody thinks sex matters nowadays. Even though you can get a permanent thing from sex like a child that you cannot undo. That in order to undo it, you have to go and pay someone money to murder that baby because sex is permanent. You understand? You can't undo that. Even without a child, it is permanent. The Lord holds it as something permanent. You understand? That when you try to break this permanent thing that the Lord set up, he sends evil spirits. He sends diseases. You understand? Think of all the societies and empires wiped out because of things like AIDS, like syphilis. You understand? Eats away at your brain, eats away at your organs, stops your blood from functioning. AIDS is a blood disease that your blood is literally turned toxic and starts to kill your body from the inside out. That is a plague from God. You understand? Like, this is serious business. So if someone found out, thank God, he has to now pay this father. And now this is his wife because he have humbled her. Can I do this? Have sex with that sister and throw her away? Now, in her simple mind, she liking everything he say. I like his hair, like the way he talk. Oh, he can dance, he can sing. You understand? She all mesmerized. You understand? And she think like this, oh, I'm going to be able to change him and this, and we going to be together. And then he get it, and he like, oh, man, I got to go. It's like, you going to call me? Yeah. What you said? You going to take my number down? Oh, I got it. Yeah, we good. Why are you not answering my calls? Why are you not here? It's been 7 whole days and not a word from these things. This is real and not a word from you. That's where these things is coming from. The Bible is written about black people. You understand? You're not supposed to do that, man. You destroy that sister. Then she'll start to see all men are dogs. And they do this, and you can't trust no man. Look what happened to me, this and that. The father is supposed to decide because you and your feelings and your emotion won't be able to examine whether this is a dog because you feel with emotions. And guess what? There are other men that are on watch in the land. You can't have sex with that sister and throw her away. No, that's your wife now. You stuck with her. You responsible for her. You got to teach her now. No, this is permanent, brother. You'll mess around and bring a plague on this whole city. From you have sex with this sister, she go have sex with another man. Before you know it, half the daughters in the kingdom is sneaking out, being goddamn sneaky links and side bays and late night and booty calls. Before you know it, the whole goddamn kingdom is filled with syphilis and herpes and gonorrhea because everybody violating this law, taking sex as a goddamn joke. Next thing you know, we start dying. Brothers start fighting. What you doing with my woman? That ain't my woman. You understand? What's the name? He said, I hit it first. Next thing you know, brothers is beefing, shooting each other, killing each other. Whole cities at war from some sister having sex with multiple men. You understand? Like, this is serious business. Like, the Lord, this is serious business. People are going to die behind this. You understand? And of course, our people don't see it that way. And the court systems eat the sins of our people. The juvenile court, the domestic court, the felony court. You're in the hallway fighting. You're in the streets fighting. You're busting out windows. You're fighting while you're driving the damn car. You're wrecking the car. You're hitting the light post. You're causing accidents. You're showing up at the job trying to get in the fights. You understand? Like, this is how our sins are eaten by our enemies. You understand? Like, this is a whole snowball effect of what ends up happening, destroying our people. You understand? So keep going.
Khan. he may not put her away all his days.
All the days of his life, he can't put her away. He can't just decide that he don't want her no more. And, oh man, she wasn't good. I don't want her no more. I gotta find somebody better. Nah, brother, you can't do that. That's your wife. You can't do that. The society is going to hold you accountable. The fathers, the uncles, the brothers, the granddaddies, the judges, the officers, you are going to be held accountable for who you stick your rod into. And in here, you are held accountable. You are held highly accountable. There is no accountability in the world. You do whatever the hell you want. And that is why there are millions of us in prison, because we have no accountability. We have no hedge. We have no boundaries, no guidelines, no rules of our people that the Lord has been seeking since the days of Hosea for men to stand in the gap and make up a hedge to set up boundaries that the Lord wanted, that used to be there, but they've been torn down. The Bible says that Judah mourneth and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. Like, that's why it's saying that. So let's see if we can hit the reason why it's saying that if they be found, because children play with sex. Teenagers play with sex. I think it's just something to do, but it is a very serious decision. You understand? It can be a very costly mistake that you can never recover from for the rest of your lives. So now, let's see. Start up to, I just want to get to the point of why it's saying this. Give me up to verse, damn. Let's see if we can get like 5 more. It's a lot, it froze again. Take me up to verse 14. Give me verse 14. It's a lot.
Khan.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 14. And give occasions of speech against her.
One more. Go up. One more scripture.
Khan. Verse 13. If a man take a wife and go in unto her.
Go in unto her. That means have sex. He take a wife and he go inside of her. That's what the scripture is talking about. This is not church. That's written in the Bible. And I'm sure you've never seen or heard that verse before in your life at any point in time outside of the Isupk. That's how you become a wife. Keep going.
And hate her.
And hate her. He go inside of her and hate her. What is it saying he hate her? Why is he saying hate her? Let's see what it's talking about. Keep going.
Verse 14. And give occasions of speech against her.
He hate her and he's saying something evil against her. What is he saying? Keep going.
And bring up an evil name upon her.
He bring an evil name upon her. Why is he saying evil things about this woman that he went and married? Keep going.
And say, I took this woman.
I took her. I went and took her. He didn't kidnap her. He didn't force her. He went and spoke to this woman and dealt with the father and did everything like he's supposed to do. I took this woman. Keep going.
And when I came to her.
And when I came to her, I went to have sex with this woman. That's where it comes from. This is in the Bible. He took this woman. He went into her. He came to her. That's what it's saying. And just like how you hearing it, that's how it's written in the Bible. Just like that. Keep going.
I found her not a maid.
I went to have sex with her and I found out that this woman was not a maid. Somebody else got here first. What did Ray J say? Ray J said, I hit it first. He said, what? Keep going.
Verse 15. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother.
The father and the mother, because the father and the mother have a reputation. Your children carry on your reputation. You understand? That's a foreign concept as well. Well, you know, they going to do whatever. No, they representing you. That's important. They need to be told they representing you and you represent the nation. Because if your children make a mistake, that can affect the entire community. You understand? It's very important. The weight of your nation needs to be placed on your decisions. None of this individual, I'm my own person, My body, my choice, my this, my that. No, we are a people. That's how you stay on the bottom. That's a slave's mind. The Chinese don't say, I'm my own person. They say, I'm Chinese. That's why they have a Chinatown, even though China is communist, all over America. You understand? Keep going.
Take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity.
The tokens of the damsel's virginity. This is a custom, old custom, or the bloody bed sheets. When a man went to go and have sex with his woman for the first time, that as a woman who has never had sex before, that she would bleed. You understand? This is talking about a grown woman. It's not talking about a child. This is not talking about a baby. You understand? Because the Christian church and Islam are perfectly fine with having sex with children. That is unlawful. You'll get stoned to death. You'll be put to death. That is not acceptable in the Bible. It's right here in these scriptures, which we're not going to get to because we don't have time. But the tokens of the damsel's virginity, when he went to have sex with her, there would be bed sheets. When he went to have sex with her, the bed sheets would have the blood because her hymen had never been broken before because she was a virgin. And now the bed sheets, they would go and give the tokens of that bed sheet to prove that she was a virgin. The bed sheet would have the blood. They would go, the mother and the father would show, like, see, she was a virgin. This was the custom. You understand? So that's what it means when it says the tokens of her virginity. Except this sheet don't have no blood on it, which is the custom, which is what it's supposed to be there. Keep going.
Unto the elders of the city in the gate.
The elders of the city said, wait, here's my receipt. This receipt is supposed to be signed. Ain't no signature on this receipt. There's no blood on these bedspreads. Now, I was told that I was going to get a damsel, untouched, pure virgin to go and start my family. You didn't give me something that had been passed around. What in the hell is going on? He bringing it to the elders of the city because he's been scammed. He's been robbed. Somebody that already hit her while she in her father's house, and she didn't cover it up so don't nobody find out. Because like a child, they figured that this is just some damn game. You understand? No, this is serious business here. Keep going.
Verse 16. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her.
The damsel's father this is going before the elders because this is a legal matter. You're not supposed to be getting a woman that has already been with another man. Like, this is a grave offense. Like, the Lord could curse us all and send an evil spirit to start killing us. You understand? Adultery is a death penalty offense because if no one is punished for it, then everyone will have adultery in their house. The city, the land will fall to whoredom. Everyone's daughter will be sneaking boys in and out of her window while you at work or late at night or while you at your job or when she's supposed to be at school. That's what's happening now. You understand? That's why it's written this way in the Bible. This is a big deal. You understand? He going to the elders. All right. He said, I went to her and I found out that she was not a maid. Keep going.
Verse 17. And lo, he has given occasions of speech against her.
The father's like, wait a minute now. He talking about my daughter like this? No, that's wrong as hell. He's saying, I found not thy daughter a maid. She wasn't no maid. This woman had been with other men. I got the proof right here. Keep going.
Saying, I found not the daughter a maid. Salakia, I found not thy daughter a maid. And yet,
go ahead.
And yet, these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
Right.
And they shall,
Salakia. Go ahead. Keep going. Salakia.
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city.
That is the tokens of the virginity. They're going to spread the cloth before the elders. The elders are there. Your elder does not mean your age. That's a Christian concept. The elders of the city, these are the rulers of the city who are in charge. It doesn't necessarily have to be an old man. That's not what elder means necessarily. All right. and the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him. Keep going.
So, like I said, you want me to read that one again or go to 19?
Go ahead. That's what I read. I read 18, Salaki. Go ahead to 19.
Verse 19, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver.
Right. They're going to immerse him. He got to pay a fine because of what he said. Freedom of speech is not biblical. You should not be allowed to say whatever you want. You can't go out there, man, I don't want to be with her. She didn't do this the way I wanted. Man, I'm going to go and trash her. I'm going to talk bad about her. You will hear this sometimes. You hear it in college. You hear it in high school. Brother go have sex with a sister, and then he start talking bad about it. Tell her friends, tell the internet, tell Facebook. Sister so embarrassed, all kind of stuff. You'll hear sisters say this about brothers as well, even though men and women are not equal, but you will hear that. Well, this brother is saying this thing here, and he's saying this because he's trying to get out of having to deal with her, and he's trashing her name, hurting the sister's feelings. The father and the mother's like, hell no, you're not going to be trashing my daughter talking like this. Here's the sheets. She was a virgin. You wrong as hell for what you're doing. You shouldn't be talking about her like this. You old sorry bastard. You should not be doing this. They're going to fine him 100 shekels of silver. Keep going.
And give them unto the father of the damsel.
That he's going to pay a fine to that father because this is that father's reputation. The reputation is you raising up whores in this house. He said, hell no, I'm not. Here's the sheet right here to prove it. He got to pay a fine. Keep going.
Because he has brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel.
He brought an evil reputation upon one of our sisters of the nation of Israel. You're not supposed to be known for being no whore. Everybody talking about you did this and that, and your nakedness all over the world. You're not supposed to do that. That's wrong as hell. That is not our culture. That is a heathen's culture. You understand? That's a Hamite's culture. That's an Edomite's culture. That is not an Israelite's culture. You want to get another wife, you can take another wife, but you cannot throw this sister away. You cannot just trash her. You understand? You cannot be cruel and evil to her just because you upset. You cannot do that. That's wrong as hell, and you are going to face a penalty for doing that. You understand? You cannot just belittle and trash a sister just because you are a man. You are going to face a penalty for doing that for no reason. Now, if you have a reason, there are times and reasons why things must be done, but you aren't allowed to just spread rumors and lies and trash people just because, you know, what the hell, I can do it because I got a voice. Nuh-uh. Somebody's going to shut that mouth, and you're going to pay a fine. You keep up, you're going to pay another fine and a penalty. You better get your mind right. You're married now. You had sex with her, she yours. Get your game together, brother. Ain't no going back on this. And you wrong for what you said about that sister. And now you pay that father. You understand? Keep going.
And she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days.
All his days, he can't put her away. He can't just throw her away because he got what he wanted. He wanted to have sex with her and figure he's going to get it. No. I don't give a damn how many records you sold, how many cattle you have, how many touchdown passes you caught. That is irrelevant. You had sex with this sister. This is your wife. You are responsible for her. That does not mean you're responsible for getting her mansions and Jaguars and financing every desire she ever had in her mind. That's not what a husband is. But you cannot throw this sister away. Now that you had sex with her, you better keep having sex with her because that is your responsibility as a husband. And you can't just get rid of her. This is permanent. If you didn't want her, you shouldn't have did it. Now you are stuck with her. She can't go to another man, and you can't get rid of her. Keep going.
Now, verse 20. But if this thing be true.
But remember, every time you see if and or but, you want to put emphasis on that. Train y'all brains to see when you hear but something else coming. But now he talking this, and it's true. Keep going.
And the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel.
Now this thing is true, and there isn't no bloody bed sheets after he went and had sex with her. What he's saying is true. This is the evil thing that he's saying about her. which he has a right to say because they're supposed to be bloody bed sheets. Keep going.
Verse 21. Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of the father's house.
The door of her father's house. She gonna be brought out of that father's house. He's saying, no, he mad as hell. He probably, what are you doing? You done scammed me. I done thinking you's a virgin. I done paid this and that, and now I done found out you done been with another man. She not gonna stay there. She gonna go to the father's house. That's why he going to the elders. He got the proof. Now, if it find out that he's true, which is the flip side, he may have a right to be angry. Keep going.
And the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die.
Shall do what?
Stone her with stones that she die.
Now, why in the world would they stone her with stones that she die? Stoning somebody takes a very long time. You get hit with a rock. That rock, you know, your arm or something might knot up. But they throw in hundreds and hundreds of stones. It could take 5 minutes. Could take several hours. You got, you know, Ephraim, you got Cubans, you got Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Simeonites. Brothers can throw a baseball 100 miles an hour. You throw a rock, you know, 100 miles an hour, 20, 30, 40, 50 people throwing rocks 90 miles an hour. It might not take you that long. You understand? It might not take you that long. But she's going to get stoned for this. Elders of the city chastise the brother. What does it mean? They put hands on him. They're going to check him. They're going to be yelling at him. They're going to be checking him. Like, what the hell? They're going to be cussing him out because you shouldn't have said this about this sister. You can't just go get on Facebook and Twitter talking about, yeah, I hit it. She wasn't good. She ain't do this. She ain't do that. She think we're going to be together. I'm going to get rid of her. I deleted her number. Look, I saved her. One more. Ha, ha, ha. Now, brother, you're going to be with her. Now, you stuck with her. Otherwise, you're going to get the hell beat out of you. And then you're going to be stuck with her. We ain't playing this. This ain't church. We're not Christians. You're going to face harsh consequence. That's the elders. This thing make it to the officers that's in charge of the tribes. You're going to be facing a lashing, a beating, another fine, and you're still going to be stuck with her. You understand? There's no getting out of this. The Lord wants that to be permanent. If this is not enforced, before you know it, everybody will be raising kids by themselves. Everybody would just be hitting it and quitting it. Oh, she got 3 baby daddies and 3 kids. Before you know it, the whole nation will fall to whoredom. Then she'd be selling her tail on the internet, back page, having sex in the stairwells, in the bathroom, skipping school. There'll be no rules. There'll be no laws. It'll be a bunch of excuses, a bunch of AIDS, herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, everywhere. Everybody burning, dying, getting sick. No rules, no order. People fighting each other over hoes, shooting each other. Before you know it, our community is exactly the way it is now, unless these laws are enforced. So keep going. Everybody gonna stone her for this. Why is she being stoned? Keep going.
Because she hath wrought folly in Israel.
She wrought foolishness in Israel. Keep going.
To play the whore in her father's house.
Because she let old Jamal sneak in that window and tear that tail up, and she figured nobody was gonna find out. And she liked what Jamal did. But Jamal gone. He on about his way. Then she let Javier hit it. Javier hit it too. He gone on about his way. Before you know it, she done racked up a goddamn body count like the U.S. Army by the time she's 25 years old. Go and look up some of these videos on YouTube talking about body count. So many bodies, I don't want to talk about it. Well, it shouldn't matter if I've been with 100 guys before we get together. You should just love me for me. All of this old kind of silly nonsense, you understand? You don't get to be old like that because you're going to teach the younger sisters. Girl, you ain't got to be married to nobody. Get that nigga for his money, run through his wallet while he sleep, put these pills in his drink. That's what Cardi B said. You ain't got to be with him. You had that baby, put him on child support. He going to marry him, stay a little bit, file for the divorce. He going to pay for your alimony. You going to collect child support. You going to come up in the world, go get you your Section 8. You're going to be living good. There's evil, wicked women that teach sisters to do this. That's why the Bible say be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You understand? He said, but she gonna get stoned to death because she played the whore in her father's house. They call that playing the whore. Keep going.
So shalt thou put evil away from among you.
You're gonna put evil away. That's an evil thing that's going to spread. If brothers start having sex with sisters that had already had sex with another man, this is what happened. Give me verse 22.
Verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband,
Meaning she already got a husband. She having sex with another man. That man that we read in verse 29 down at the bottom, she has a husband. But the father didn't know, so he gave her away to another man. But the sex she had with that brother, they didn't stay together. So now they thinking that I'm going to find a husband to deal with my daughter, and then this is going to be her husband. She's going to be his wife. She's going to raise up a family with him, and he is going to get an untouched woman. But that's not true. Now she got a husband, and if she was having sex with this new brother, then she done tricked him into committing adultery. He could die for that. They say, she used to be with so-and-so. What do you mean? Her and Jamal, they broke up, before she started talking to him. Next thing you know, that's why Jamal got to be fined and pay that dowry to the father. This has to be caught. If there's nobody paying attention, the father ain't around, you understand? Nobody paying attention, the next things you know, women class. Right, it's no women classes. No sweat, brother. I see your connection. No sweat. There's no women classes. You just asked the question. The things, it's the same classes. Yeah, I got you, brother. It's the same classes. The Christian church separates men classes, women classes. There's no women classes. There's no men classes. There's no children's classes. All of that separation, that's not how the Bible is written. You understand? The things that a woman learns about the Bible is what the Lord expects from her and what the Lord expects from a man. She just asks the questions and type them in there, all right? Or if you got questions about a woman, or if a woman got questions, she tell you, you type them in, we'll be able to go through them. But we're going to wrap this up here because we way over the time, all right? So while y'all hanging in, we're going to finish this. Read the end of verse 22, all right?
then they shall both of them die.
They both die. You having sex with another brother's woman? Keep going.
Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel.
You're going to put away that evil from the nation of Israel. It is an evil thing for you to go and have sex with another brother's woman. At one time, you did that, you died. Everybody knew that you died for that so that they didn't have sex with another brother's woman and your woman wouldn't go and whore on you. Now that there's no consequence, like the Lord said, everybody going to do it. Everybody going to do it. Everything going to fall apart. And then the other nations will be able to come and eat our sins up and prey on us while we are destroyed. Like that's what the Bible is talking about. That's why it's written that way. There's a reason for all of that. Of course, there's more we're going to pick up here. All right. Next week, we're going to pick up, you understand, Lord willing, we'll pick up where we are. We're way over the time. All right. We're just going to go ahead and salute out here. Imagine. All right, Akim. No sweat. Imagine y'all go ahead and stand. We're just going to do one courtesy salute. All right. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yahweh Shemel
Shabbat.
Yahweh Shemel Shabbat. All right, Akim. Yadi Matah. Class dismissed. All right. Throughout Akim, y'all hanging in there. All right. With that, shalom.